Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? It's the NOB, the number one boomer. Welcome to my gaming channel. I appreciate y'all stopping in. Before we even get started, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the old man. All right, what we're gonna do today to kick off this channel is we're going to do one of my all-time favorite things, and that is some RC helicopter simulator training for those who may or may not be interested in it. I have another channel, a couple other channels actually, where I had done some shorts of some RC helicopter flying, and seemed like right many people were interested in it. So in the spirit of that, let's get into it. Okay, I'm on Heli X, and there are many other flight simulators out there that that you can find besides Heli X. This is kind of I want to say underground or boutique type helicopter simulator. There are other more well-known brands out there. For example, I'm going to just pull up a few here just for the those that are new and starting out. Real Flight is a big one. So there's Real Flight. I want to say AccuRC is another big one. I think Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken, I don't see it showing up. Is Phoenix still around? Phoenix. Is that one still around? The Phoenix is renowned. It's just, okay, so Phoenix or okay, so Phoenix is still around. Phoenix Simulator. I'm not sure why it didn't pop up. I would easily say Phoenix is a lot bigger than. Oh, okay, there it is. You know, it's a lot bigger than Heli X. But for some reason, I really like Heli X. I think I just like the helicopter selection and a couple of key features I think that I use sometimes that I think are pretty cool. The others may have them. They probably do, but at this particular point, I just really like Heli X, and maybe it's the backgrounds and stuff too. So, but I say all that to say that there are plenty of options for flight simulators out there. So don't feel like you have to get the same one that I have. I'm not sure. All right. Did I show my wireless dongle? Did I show you my wireless dongle? I'm not sure if I did that or not, but this is the Spectrum WS2000. This is a wireless dongle that I connect my transmitter to, wireless transmitter to. Let's see if we can get it here. Spectrum. All right, fat finger and stuff. WS2000 dongle. So this is what I'm using here. So just get your a radio. You don't have to get Spectrum or Spectrum, however you want to pronounce it. You can get your dongle. I just go with Spectrum because I've been just using Spectrum for years and I'm comfortable with it. So I'm sure there are equivalent other dongles out there that you can find, but for this purposes, for me, I'm rolling with Spectrum. So that's what I have. The Spectrum wireless simulator USB dongle. So we got that squared away. Okay. And as far as helicopters, I haven't flown a helicopter, an actual helicopter, probably in a couple of years. I just have been simulating mostly over the past few years. The reason why for me is because I guess early on when I first got into flying helicopters, there weren't really many options out there, even in terms of simulators. There was a lot to be desired at the time. But in terms of helicopters themselves, there weren't really a whole lot of beginner options, a good collective pitch beginner options. Today, there are quite a few good micro helicopters that you have an option of finding, and that will save you. My point is, it'll save you a lot of money, a lot of frustration. And I'm just going to pull up a few here. For example, let's just go to. I'm going to go to Heli Direct. I'm not promoting Heli Direct. You can go wherever you want to get your find your helicopters. I just know I've gotten stuff here from the past, and they keep their website, pretty update, and it's pretty easy to follow. So I'm just gonna look at a Goose Sky or Goose Ski, like this Goose Ski S1 and S2. These are some really good helicopters to start out on. I would personally, I would go for an S1, first. I want to say a comparable starter micro heli would be OMP Hobby M1. Let's look at the M1. It's pretty much the same size. M1, you can see here, about $250 comes with a little controller. And then they have the M2 as well. So, there's some very good options, and the controls and the gyros and beginner assist functions and are just so good nowadays to help beginners, stability control, things of that nature, to help beginners and stuff. So the hobby is a lot more friendly, has a lot more friendly options into it. The learning curve is still going to be steep, but RC helicopters are, I don't know if it's an argument, for me, unquestionably the most difficult RC hobby to be in. Of all the RC vehicles, I would easily say RC 3D collective pitch RC helicopters is the most challenging to me, without a doubt. That's what also makes it the most fun. So the learning curve is pretty steep, but like I said, there's a lot of just technology has come a long way to help people get, to make it easier, to make the learning curve not so painful. Because it can be pain if you make it painful. Some people will tell you, go ahead and get this big fancy helicopter and things like that, but and that they're more stable and this and that. But with the stability aids and controls and assists that are available now, I would say that a micro helicopter is those can be pretty stable nowadays as well. Pretty stable. But even more than that, which will save you a lot of pain and agony, is that if you, for instance, you're going to be crashing a lot, particularly if you are trying to learn 3D maneuvers, you're going to be crashing a lot. Okay. So with that being said, crashes cost money. To crash a small S1 or, OMP M1 or to crash a Goose Ski S1, you crash that, I mean, it'll probably cost you $10 to fix. But if you crash a Goblin 700, it's probably gonna cost you it's probably gonna cost you $300 to fix. 300, 400, $500 to fix, depending on what kind of damage you do. So my point is, um, just to save yourself a lot of money, because if you choose wrong, it will definitely cost you. And that's just cost, just in terms of money. I mean, it's going to cost you some hours just to rebuild the thing too. If you're talking about a 700 size helicopter, as opposed to one of the small micro helis that I just showed you. Those you probably fix those relatively quick. In probably 30 minutes or so, you'll probably be back up and going again. So, but I'm not gonna belabor that point. I'm just gonna get right into practicing. Again, I haven't. If you see me looking up, I have a monitor, a third monitor that's up high that I'm kind of looking at some information there. So I haven't practiced in months on the simulator. So this is really the first time back in quite a while. So as a beginner, I'm just going to get reacquainted with the controls. Okay. And as a beginner, you're more than likely, you're going to want to start with your tail end, nose forward, just practicing a good hover. That's what I would recommend. Just practice a good hover, a good slow hover. Try and stay in, try and keep it controlled in one spot. Try not to be floating all over the place too much. As you can see, I'm, struggling a little bit. But just practice swinging your tail and just moving your tail at different angles and staying in that same spot. So just work on your basic control. Okay. Just practice. So if we think of it as a full circle, okay, we're just starting here. Just work on your first half. Okay. Just work going from your right side, staying in nice full control all the way, to your right side, and being able to, stay relatively in the same spot, and just all the way over to your left side. Just work on that half of the circle. Just master that half of the circle. See if you can master that, and just take it slowly through. Swinging that tail slowly to the right. Just hanging there. Just feeling that orientation. Just locking in. Let your brain and your fingers lock in. And it may take you months. Everybody's different. Depends on the amount of time you put into it in practice. And, some people are just gifted, I guess. And I'm not saying I am gifted, because I've been doing this for a lot of years. And it's taken me a long time a lot of hours to get to what I am able to do now. So I'm not saying that I'm gifted. I'm just persistent. I've just been persistent. And just practice your first half. And then once you master that, practice. Now you're going to start getting into your nose in half. Your nose in, practice swinging it to the right, staying in control, and then practice swinging it to the left, staying in control. So just practice your front half and your back half of your circle. That's what I would advise you to master. Just practice doing that and getting comfortable with that. Spend a lot of time just doing that basic thing. And then once you get both halves mastered, then you can just, you can go all the way around. And you just start practicing all the way around, okay? And I'm a big believer of what you can do going one way, clockwise, you should be able to do going counterclockwise. And, so practice swinging it and going clockwise and counterclockwise and staying in nice, smooth control. You see, I'm moving around quite a bit, so I'm a bit rusty. And then once and of course, you can start, go ahead and, once you are comfortable with that, you can start moving forward and practicing, just, starting to combo things in, just going forward, and then you're just swinging the tail around, just going from side to side, swinging that tail around. Just basic stuff here. We're not doing anything fancy. We got to crawl before we can walk. All right. So that's it. We're just going to keep it. Now, for those that, are beyond this stage and, a bit advanced, and you get into inverted, then you can, start getting into your inverted, which I'm advocating you do the same for that. Now we're tail in, and I'm just practicing. I'm just trying to get reacquainted and get re-locked in with being and swinging my tail. Same thing. It's my hover. I want full 360-degree control. Just practicing all those. You see how I'm moving around? I'm just rusty. And practice swinging, going clockwise and counterclockwise. Same thing we did upright. We want to do inverted. We want to be just as comfortable. Okay. And so if you're just starting out, with your inverted, just figure out how you want to get inverted. What's comfortable to you. Is it going forward and catching yourself? Is that how you want to get in the inverted position? If you're just starting out, or, do you want to go back and catch yourself? So that's a matter of preference. For me, it was going back. For some reason, it was more comfortable to just go back, when I was first starting out, learning how to get inverted. But, either way, like I say, if you want to flip it forward to get in that position, or if you want to bring it back and catch yourself to get in the inverted position. So, or if you just want to turn it to the side to get in that position. There's many ways to get into that position, but get into that position. Figure out how you want to get into it and just start here. Okay. I would say tail in and practice your half circle here and stand in full control. And then we're going to rotate, to the right side. Practice getting locked in, and like I said, the muscle memory. You can see I'm drifting a bit. The muscle memory. Just feel it. Feel every little imperfection and every little micro adjustment you need to make. Just feel it. Just eat it. Okay, so, but this will just help you these are good warm-up exercises, for those that are beyond this level. I find, at least for me, before I get started, doing any kind of flight, really, I'll do some basic warm-up exercises like this, just to, like I said, just to get calibrated, just get my brain calibrated. I'm just I can see I'm very rusty with this, but like I said, the slower you go with it, the more it requires you to actually know that orientation. You know, it's easy to blow through orientations when you don't know them. I guess I look at the orientations like the numbers on the clock. You know, I may know orientation 12, 3, 6, 9, you know, really well, but I may suck at 2 and 7 and 10. But when you go real slow, it forces you. You can't really skip any of those. I can't blow through those other orientations that I don't know to get to the ones that I know it. To get to the ones that I know, it forces you to have to know all of them. So I'm just gonna do that for today. What time are we at? About 13 minutes. So I'm not gonna make this video too long. I guess this is more of a tutorial per se. You know, beginner, maybe tutorial, and a tutorial for those that are rusty, like myself, as I get back into it. As you can see now, I mean, I got some motion going for sure. I'm purposefully swinging this thing around, you know, in a circular pattern at this particular point. Just trying to, like I say, just get back into the groove of it. But all right, so I think we're going to leave it here today. I think I just wanted to share this information and with you all, and I'm sure I will have some more helicopter videos to come in the future. This channel is actually going to be, you're going to be seeing helicopter stuff, you're going to be seeing some gaming stuff, so it's going to be a good mix of stuff. So be sure to hang around. Let me get myself back. Be sure to hang around. Be sure to subscribe. That's a beautiful color scheme. I'm going to stop it right there for now. But I appreciate y'all for stopping in, spending time with the old man. Hope you learned something. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. You know, leave some comments if there's something that you want me to maybe go over. You know, if you're starting out, or you know, you want some suggestions. You know, my opinions on some things. You know, I'm here to hopefully help you out. I mean, this is the tribe. This is the NOB, the #1 boomer tribe. We are a tribe over here, trying to help each other out. So in the spirit of doing so, you know, leave some good comments. Even if, you know, you saw some, or you heard me and saw me do some stuff that sucked, let me know about it too. But be sure to like, share, subscribe, comment. Appreciate y'all for stopping by and spending time with the old man. I love y'all. Peace. I'm out of here.